Half the Battle is back. It's me, Daniel Levi, your host. And man, once again, we got a great episode of Half the Battle today. We got Josh the Gentleman Hill. This guy's taking on Marlon Moraes for the 135-pound title at WSOF. You know, a lot of people thought he won the first fight. So he knows he's got to go in there and finish the fight this time. We're also talking to Damien Brown. He's a UFC lightweight. He's fighting at UFC 201 in Atlanta, Georgia. And he took on Alan Patrick in his UFC debut. And he took it on less than a week short notice. And he put on a very, very valiant effort. So definitely look out for my talk with him. And we also welcome back the vet, the OG, Desmond the Predator Green. Always a pleasure to talk to that guy. I mean, when's he going to be in the UFC? I've been waiting forever. Great fighter, great dude. Can't wait for you to check that one out. And then for the first time, we got Tony Martin, UFC lightweight, on the show. He's taking on Michel Prazeres. You guys all remember when Valimir Lazarov fought Michel Prazeres. That was probably one of the worst robberies of that year. And I think Tony Martin is trying to right the wrong. And he's going to go out there and knock out Michel Prazeres. So here we go. I hope you guys enjoy. Joining me on this very special edition of Half the Battle is Josh Hill. Josh, welcome to Half the Battle, man.
Hey, man. How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. It's my pleasure. It's going amazing. And, dude, I mean, obviously you're taking on Marlon Moraes. We all know what happened the first time. I mean, in my opinion and the opinion of all my friends, and I'm sure in your opinion too, you got jobbed pretty damn hard in that fight. So, I mean, first of all, you understand you got to go out there and finish him this time around, right?
Yeah, I can't leave it in the hands of the judges like that again when it's, a close fight like that, for sure.
I mean, dude, it's one of those situations where you could beat his ass 4-1, even 5-0, and, I mean, I got to be careful the words I use here, but in these other leagues, they go for their guy. So, did you see that Fedor fight the other day?
I did, man. That was scary.
Dude, so you're in one of those situations, my man, because they would have let Fedor die in there before they stopped the fight. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Even the ref stepped in for that 1 second when his mouth guard was out, and then, let him keep going. That I thought that fight was probably a draw. I had it 10-8 the first round, and then I had Fedor the next two, but, in Russia, right?
Dude, and not only did the ref give him back his mouthpiece, he gave him a breather right as the finishing sequence was about to happen. I was like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised with it being in Russia.
And it's not just a Russian thing. I mean, I don't know if you watched Bellator the other day, but Matt Mitrione, so he gets knocked out. And I'm talking knocked out. And the ref lets him keep taking punches to the point where he wakes back up. And then he goes on to win the fight. And I'm like, dude. And then listen to this. A couple hours later, Matt Mitrione's in a suit in the commentary booth. He's facing off with his next opponent who he's fighting in 3 weeks. I mean, this shit is crazy, bro.
3 weeks, eh? Wow. That's pretty crazy. I'm surprised he got cleared for that.
I mean, word on the street is he got cleared, but did he really get cleared? You know what I mean, Josh?
Yeah, you never know. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes.
So, I mean, I got to know your mindset, man. Let's say you drop Marlon Moraes and, you're trying to go for the finish. Let's say he survives and then the next couple rounds are close. You can't feel confident, man. You got to put the exclamation there, man, because they want their guy to win, as unfortunate as it sounds.
Yeah, 100%. That's just like the first fight. The first round, I heard him a couple times and did a lot of damage to him, but then I kind of took my foot off the gas a bit in rounds 2 and 3, and then came back harder in rounds 4 and 5. But it wasn't enough to seal the deal. So, yeah, I'm gonna. I heard him. I just gotta, keep that foot on the gas the whole time, and don't give him a chance to breathe or recover at all. And really, obviously you want that finish, but if it's not gonna be a finish, it's got to be like 100% definite. I won that fight.
Yeah, now I'm not one to give a fighter advice because, obviously you're the fighter, I'm the guy that watches the fights, but I would recommend, put yourself in the line of fire, man. If you get knocked out, you get knocked out, but man, you gotta put this guy away.
Yeah, no, I agree, totally 100%. I gotta, I think the only difference in that fight was, I think damage-wise, I did a lot more to him. But he just was more active and threw more shots at me, even though he didn't really hit me with much. nothing really significant. He was just the person that was coming forward more and throwing more shots at me. So, and the judges, mind that see that he's being the more active fighter. So I got to just be in his face and not overly reckless aggression, but calculated aggression, and really just, open up and let my hands go. I think that fight was a huge confidence booster for me. I was a huge underdog in that fight. Everybody thought I was just going to get wrecked in the first round. And then I go 5 rounds all on the feet with this guy. So, he felt my power. I felt what he throws. And, I don't think he's going to want to clinch with me at all. But, I can't wait to get back in there and just let it go.
Yeah, man, let it go. That's what it's all about. And it's funny you bring up how, you did more damage, but he was more active. But I guarantee you, if the roles were reversed and you were more active and he did more damage, it would be the same result. Because like we said, man, they want their guy to win. So let it all out on the line, my friend.
Yes, sir, dude. That's the plan.
And, dude, I want to talk to you about your fight against Bekbulat Magomedov. It's funny because he was 16-0 going into this fight. And, one of my buddies was like, dude, this guy Bekbulat, Sambo world champion, I'm going to bet on him to beat Josh Hill. And I was like, dude, bad idea. Do not bet against Josh Hill in this spot. And it's funny because Bekbulat, he's shooting for takedowns. He's going in there head first. He's not even setting up his takedowns. I was like, what is this guy doing? You clearly won every round. And then it was a split decision again.
Split, yeah. Those judges that night, man, were crazy. Like, even backstage, we were watching some of the fights beforehand, and, like, some of the decisions they were calling was like, what the hell is going on, man? But, yeah, I felt that I won every round. There was no, like, dominant rounds. That was kind of a frustrating fight. Like, whenever I engaged, he would retreat and just be out of range. And then he would, shoot in, and I would stuff it. But I couldn't find my range really with him. He was a little bit longer, and it was just hard to hit. But I thought I won every round pretty easily.
Now, when you tie up with a Sambo world champion who at the time was 16-0, I mean, what kind of strength did he possess?
To be honest, not. I wasn't overwhelmed. Like, at 135, there's not a lot of guys, you put me in there with that I'm not going to outpower them, or at least be on the same level as power with them. I work a lot of clinch work, a lot of wrestling clinch work on the wall, and I'm really, really comfortable there. And, I felt him, and I think, the weight cut for him is big too. He looked really, really sucked out at the weigh-ins, and even when I seen him in the cage, he looked like he didn't bounce back as big as I thought he would. So I don't know if that had a factor at all, but yeah, I felt like the stronger guy for sure.
Now, when a guy starts shooting in for takedowns head first and he doesn't even set them up, are you like, okay, thanks, man? Like, were you like, oh, this is the Sambo world champion?
Yeah, I was surprised. That was because I knew that he would do that. I knew he would shoot for sure, or at least try to clinch up with me and take me down in the clinch. But yeah, it was just like, I heard my coach in the corner when he shot. He's like, "That's it. That's all he's got." And you can see everything coming. You're a step ahead. And I was like, "Damn, I am." I was kind of surprised a bit. I thought it would be a little bit more, more fluent, more set up, and it'd be harder to defend.
Now, your next fight, you took on Bendy Casimir. Obviously, he's a vet of the sport, and you finally got all 3 judges to see it in your favor. And it's funny because it's not like, there was much difference in terms of that and your fight with Bekbulat or Marlon, in the sense that you were the rightful winner each time. But this time there wasn't any bullshit, and coincidentally enough, it wasn't in World Series of Fighting.
Yeah. Did you see that fight with Bendy? Did you happen to see it or not?
I actually didn't get a chance to see it because I don't know where to see it, man.
Yeah, I think the only place you could have seen it was on the Fight Network and Go Fight Live. But it was the most awkward fight I've ever had to do, man. I knew Bendy's been fighting for a long time, and I watched his last few fights. And, man, he's a southpaw. He's got really long arms, and all he does is throw spinning back fists, and he, rolls into donkey guard and just dives for your legs every time you engage. So that's all he did the whole fight. And every time I went near him, he'd do spinning back fists and then dive right for my legs, and I'd defend it, get back up, and then, the same thing again. It was just really, really awkward.
But then again, if that was in a different league, I'm going to stop throwing shade, but if that was somewhere else, you never know. It could be 29, 28, Casimir, 30-27 Hill and 29-28. You know what I mean? The winner by split decision. It could have been some more bullshit, but you got the victory there. So it had to have felt good, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't know, I guess you never know. You're right, but there was no question that after the fight was done that I won. I dropped him a few times, kicks to the body, and but yeah, wherever you go, there's some retarded judges out there, and you never know what the hell they're looking at.
So, dude, let's put the scoring aside for a sec. Let's talk about just you going 5 rounds with a guy like Marlon Moraes. I mean, how hard does he kick? How hard does he punch? How hard is he to take down? Just what kind of fighter is he compared to the other guys you've been inside the cage or ring with?
Well, he's definitely the best guy I've ever been in there with. I think he's ranked like 6th in the world or 7th in the world by most rankings. So he's good. He's a well-rounded fighter. The thing with us was we both move a lot. We both have a lot of movement. We both have good footwork. So in our fight, it was a battle of footwork and who's going to make that first mistake. And when we did come together, we both threw heavy heat. His kicks, I've watched a lot of his fights, and he chopped a lot of guys down with his kicks. He got a lot really good low kicks. And, with me, I think with my movement, I kind of stifled that a bit, and I checked a couple. So he didn't throw many kicks to the legs at all with me. He threw lots to the body and some to the head, which I blocked the majority of. But he's fast. He's got good movement, good footwork. He didn't want to clinch it all with me, which I'd like to do more of this time. We'll see what happens, but I'm just gonna mix this fight up, and there's gonna be a lot of striking. There's gonna be clinch. There's gonna be wrestling. Probably some grappling, and wherever this fight goes, I just want to make him pay.
Man, so you were supposed to fight Shaymon Moraes at one point, huh? That dude is no slouch.
Yeah, we were supposed to fight beforehand. I can't remember what happened. I don't know what happened exactly, but yeah, me and him were scheduled to fight, and then something happened, and I ended up fighting Marlon in February of last year. And then Shaymon went on to fight him afterwards, and I think he subbed him in like the 2nd or 3rd round or something like that. And since then, Shaymon's he went up to 45, which I think is probably a better move for me. It looks a lot better, more healthy.
Yeah, you versus Shaymon would be a crazy fight because that dude, like I said, he's no slouch at all. Now, let me ask you something. You mentioned how you checked a couple of Marlon Moraes kicks. I mean, what's that shin-on-shin like when you guys are going 100%?
It's like more the next day. It sucks, but I'd rather take it there than on the thigh, a couple of those, because then I'm not moving in the cage much. I'm not going to be walking right for a little while. So I'd much rather have that check, even though it does suck. And it's, you can feel it the next day, but I'd rather have that all day than, taking those on the thigh or the, back of the leg or anything like that. So, definitely, a must, especially when a guy like Marlon, because he kicks really hard and fast.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, hey, you're taking on Marlon Moraes, July 30th, WSOF 32, main event. How's this fight going to go down, man?
Oh, and new champion. That's how it's going down. It's pretty sweet. Me and Lance. I'm actually down here at in California, Team Alpha right now, getting ready. And Lance is the co-main event. He's fighting for his belts back, and then I'm fighting Marlon for my belt. So it's gonna be good. There's gonna be 2 new champions. That's what we're planning. That's what I'm expecting. And however this fight goes, I can see it ending. I don't know. I could see this fight in so many ways. I thought about a million different ways. I could see it ending very quick. I could see it being another 5-round war. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But I expected my hand to be raised at the end of this one.
Awesome. Well, Josh, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me right here, right now on Half the Battle. Let the audience know where to follow you on social media and anything else you want to plug, man. Now's the time.
Yeah. Follow me at Gentleman J Hill. That's my Instagram and my Twitter. My Facebook is, just follow me, Josh Hill. That's pretty much it, man. Just shout out to all my supporters and friends and family and teammates and everybody that's been helping me get ready for this, and sponsors, and thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely, man. And stick around for a sec because I got a couple off-air questions for you, all right?
Yeah, man, no problem.
All right, cool. Welcome back to Half the Battle. I'm your host, as always, Daniel Levi, and joining me on this very special edition of Half the Battle is Desmond Green. Des, welcome back to Half the Battle, man.
Hey, appreciate it, bros. Appreciate it. How's it going?
It's going amazing, dude. It's great to have you back on the show. Congrats on the big win, man.
Thank you. Knocking them down one by one, slowly but surely.
Yeah, there you go.
Go.
And you're taking on a dude named Des, so I mean, you had to show him who the real Desmond is in there.
Oh yeah, bro. Like as soon as this fight got announced, it's like, oh well, you got a guy named Desmond Hill. I'm like, oh shit, well, Desmond's not a common name, but I'm like, I gotta show this guy. There's only one true saying. I'm a real big Dragon Ball Z fan, so I was like, there's only one true saying, Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. Fun getting to fight a guy by name.
So you expected to knock him out in the first round, and he was actually tough enough to go all three with you. Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, I was. His step was a lot better than I predicted it to be. Not to make any excuses, but the guy did come in 9 pounds heavy, and that definitely plays a lot, especially when he's a guy like him that's coming down at 155. I was banking on him having a hard weight cut and dying out, but when you skip your job and you kind of take the easy way out and come in 9 pounds over. You're going to be a little bit bigger. So, that was something I had to adjust to even during the fight. I could definitely feel the weight difference, especially with me coming up from 145 and him coming down from 185 to 170. But, it is what it is. I got the job done.
Holy shit. 9 pounds overweight. I mean, one doesn't simply come in 9 pounds overweight. When did you find out that he wasn't going to come in at 55?
Yeah, and that's the bullshit. Because like you said, you don't just come in 9 pounds over. You know that you're gonna be that much over. And they didn't even tell me until literally like an hour before weigh-in. So I'm sitting there. We're all waiting, checking in with the commission. I'm at 156. I did my job, and the guy's like, oh, he's a little over. So all right, that's cool. A couple pounds, you give me 20%. And he's like, let's just do 164. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's more than a little over, but I want to fight. I got people coming. I got places to go. So I'm like, let's just do it. 9 pounds, I don't care what it is. Just cough up that money and I make them pay, and it's pretty much what happened.
Wow. So there was no hesitation on your part to say, fuck this, because I mean, it's not like you'd be a pussy if you pulled out. The dude was 9 pounds overweight.
Yeah, no, and I'm still young, and I should have put a clause in there that the following day he can only be a certain amount, but I didn't. I just said let's do it, let's sign, whatever. I said let's do catch weight at 164, and we'll just fucking go. So I was sitting there trying to chug liquids, to try to get back up to somewhere close to where he was, but even still, I still weighed in like 4 pounds under him. But, it was motivating, just letting me know, like, the fact that he came in 9 pounds over, it let me know that he didn't take this as serious as I did. So, can't complain. That is what it is.
Yeah, and I don't know why you wouldn't take a fight with Desmond Green seriously, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think, honestly, I'm not even lying. I think he knew fighting me, because he doesn't really fight at 155. I think he knew he was going to come in over. He was going to try to use that to his advantage, give up the 20%. And, it's a win-win for him. If he loses, he's expected to lose, not to be an asshole. And if he wins, it's a plus. He beat, somebody that's, got a lot of fights in. I'm highly ranked. So I'm going on it. I'm going to say he came in overweight on purpose.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where, do you think that he did it like he prepared this months in advance, or do you think at some point he just decided to stop cutting the weight?
No, I think originally he probably wanted to make the weight, but I definitely think before, like at least 2 weeks before the fight, he knew, because when you're cutting weight, you're on a regimen, how much your body's losing, how good you're doing, how your diet is going, and a week, maybe even 7 days, you're gonna know if you're gonna make weight or not. And I think it came down to it, and he made a conscious decision, like, I know I can't make 155, but I'm not gonna pull out the fight. I'll just come in, get as low as I can, and then give up my 20%. So
yeah,
I honestly think that's what happened.
Yeah, I'll just come in 9 pounds overweight, no big deal.
Yeah, and I don't even get it, because I'm like, he's lucky. Like, some people wouldn't even took the fight. You know what I mean? But me, I'm like, I'll fight whoever, whenever. So I took it.
That's what I'm saying, dude. You could have totally not taken that fight.
Yeah, the promoter was all worried. He's all, all right, listen, there's no way anybody's going to take an ass whooping. I signed a contract. I'm here. I do my part. I don't care,
So, do you feel like you taught him a lesson for those 15 minutes?
Oh yeah, definitely. Although I didn't get to finish, he definitely, I definitely did. I got a unanimous decision. I actually stumbled him in the first round. He caught me with one good shot in the beginning of the round, and that literally may have been the only time he hit me. Everything else was just it was pretty much a one-sided fight.
Do you feel like you broke him at any point in the fight?
Yeah, I think towards the end of the second round, he seen that he wasn't able to hit me, he wasn't able to grab me. I kept getting control of him, getting the tips, on the rope, and I could kind of see in his face, the first couple after the first round, he lost that sense of urgency. I felt like, he was just fighting to survive, then he was just going into survival mode, and I didn't feel too threatened after the first round. You're kind of seeing somebody's eyes when they want to hurt you, and he had that look in the first round. But after the first round, I didn't really sense a sense of urgency from him.
So when you're fighting a dude and you feel like he's just surviving in there, does that at all make you want to turn it up, or do you just feel like, hey, I can just coast now that this guy's not even going to try that hard?
It all depends, really. Initially, you want to just turn up, be like, all right, he's backpedaling, let me, smell blood, let me bite down. But, you got to be smart about it, because some guys are real deceptive. They may, for a little bit seem like they're backing up, and then, next thing you know, they're throwing like a 20, 30-second flurry at you. So, I was just trying to do my thing the whole fight. I was just trying to be aggressive, land my shots, work my wrestling, and it worked pretty good for me. I'm not going to lie, this is 21 fights I have, 22 I think now, and this is my first time ever fighting in a boxing ring. So like I've only ever fought in the cage before, so that definitely was a big difference. I had to kind of get adjusted to it. I'm not a fan. If I had a choice, I don't think I ever fight in a boxing ring again.
Yeah, you can't wall walk in a boxing ring.
Yeah, that's what I don't like, because I'm a wrestler by nature, and I pressure guys. I'm so used to getting guys up against the gate, and you can't go anywhere. But with the boxing, you got more give. It's not even like, when you got somebody in the octagon, you get them against the gate, boom, they're stuck there. But in the boxing, they fall out. Like a couple of times, I'm on top of this guy Desmond. I'm hitting him. We go out of the ropes, and then the ref stands us on our feet. Like, I don't know if you see the fight. One of the times I got in an argument with the ref in the middle of the fight. This guy swinging at me. I'm talking to the ref. I'm like, yo, what you do? Like, because in the back, the ref's like, if you guys go out, we're going to start you in the same position. And I'm on top of him, landing hits. We go out, and he stands us. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Oh, man, that's some bull. So, I mean, when you get stood up from a, dominant position like that and you're landing ground and pound, what does that do for your confidence to know that, hey, I got to start all over again?
I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit frustrating. Definitely it's frustrating, but luckily, like I'm real poised out there. I know I can get a takedown whenever I want, so like it didn't really frustrate me too much. It more just like it kind of pissed me off, because I'm like, I worked to put this guy in a bad position. I worked to put me in a great position, and all this guy has to do is roll out of bounds, and we start back on our feet. You know what I mean? Especially with a guy like him who's already came in so heavy. He's only relying on power punches. So it is frustrating, but it was something I had to deal with.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got to overcome. It's probably a great experience for you. And I'll tell you what, man. I mean, it's not just in a ring. I mean, I've seen a bunch of refs in cages. They'll do these early stand-ups. Someone will be passing guard and they're clearly working, and the ref will just stand them up.
Yeah, listen, I think it was like 3 fights ago. Not even lying, bro. I'm not lying. I'm on top of this guy. I'm punching him in his stomach. Like, literally, I'm punching him, and the ref grabs my hand, my punching hand, and stands us up. Like, as I'm going down to land another punch, he stands us. I'm like, wait, what? Wow. I thought, you stopping the fight. I'm like, we're standing up. Like, I was so confused. But, it's just, it's one of those things, man. You never know what the ref is going to do. You never know what the judges are going to judge, so you just got to go out there and fight your fight.
Yeah, it's truly unbelievable, but the good news is you're getting all this experience under your belt, so by the time you make it to the UFC, you'll have seen everything pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. That's the thing I tell a lot of people. Like, everybody always asks me, like, "Oh, are you ready to get to the UFC? Are you ready?" And my record is really deceiving. I got like 21 fights, but I've only been fighting for 3.5 years, and I've only been training for 3.5 years. I started fighting as soon as I started training because I was a wrestler, so I didn't need too many amateur experience. But I'm in no rush. I'm trying to get everything I can out of it before I get to the big show. That way, I make no mistakes. Because you make a mistake there, and that's liable to set you back much further than had you make mistakes before you get to the big show.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I mean, you see that with a lot of people's careers, so I definitely agree with you. You're taking the right steps.
Yeah.
And next up, man, you're taking on Frank Carrillo at Titan FC 40, and I mean, this is a guy, you're speaking of deceptive records, his record is a little bit deceptive too, A lot of people would be like, oh, he's just some journeyman, but this guy has actually beat some UFC vets in the past.
Yeah, definitely. A guy like Frank is somebody, like you said, if you just look at him on paper, he wouldn't be too threatened, but, two of my teammates have fought him, Yuri and Abel, and, they both told me, he's a tough guy. I watch video, and I can just tell from the video, I can tell he's a tough grinder. Although he's 10-6, it doesn't really tell the story about him. He's a good fighter. I definitely have to be fully prepared. He looks like he's strong, and he's another guy that, I don't know what it is. I just move up to 55, and I'm fighting all of these heavy guys. But, he's another heavy guy that's coming down from, he used to fight at 185. So I'm going to go out there on a limb, and I'm going to say I don't think he's going to make weight, but I'm going to take the fight anyway, of course, and still make him pay for it.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not by 9 pounds this time, though.
Oh, man, listen. And I don't even mind that, because I'm just like, listen, if you're going to come in 9 pounds over, give me a call the week before. I won't turn the fight down. I just say, cool, let's just do the catchweight wherever you're comfortable at. I just don't want to cut down to 56, like last time, and this guy shows up an hour before weighing, like, oh, listen, I'm 9 pounds, I can't get it off. Yeah. Like, come on, guy.
Man, but I'll tell you what, now, you're the fighter here, so tell me what you think about this. I feel like there's a mental edge for the guy that cuts the weight.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. When I face a guy that doesn't come in on weight, number one thing I think of is how did his camp go? Because when I'm in my camp, everything's accounted for. I'm checking my weight every week, not every week. When I'm checking my weight every day, making sure I'm doing the right workouts to maximize my body. And a guy that comes in overweight, all I think of is this guy's just been dicking around this whole camp, eating what he wants, doing what he wants, working out whenever he wants, and not really paying attention to the details of things. And, my ultimate goal is to get to the UFC, and that should be everybody's goal. I feel like, when I fight these guys that don't make weight, I'm like, they don't really want to be in the UFC because, number one, that's the number one thing that they hate is guys that don't make weight. So, that just lets me know how serious they take their career.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's another, way to gain experience because, in the back of your mind, you feel like, I can't lose to this guy. He doesn't want it as bad as I do.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
So how's it been going at the Black Zillions, man?
Oh, man, it's lovely up and down here, man. It's fucking lovely. Beautiful out. Like, it's, I love it. And, the team is just so strong. We got so many guys in the room that I go with and I get, working with on a daily basis. Like, man, Henry Hoof, like, me and him has been getting so much work in. He's been helping my striking out so much. But when it comes to just my teammates, Gilbert Dorino, Michael Johnson, Jason Jackson, Abel Trujillo, Kush. I got guys like that every day that I'm working out with. We're pushing the limits, pushing each other. It's just great. I really love that vibe and the atmosphere up here.
Yeah, and speaking of Gilbert Dorino, he's got a big fight coming up against a really tough European. How's he looking, man?
Yeah, Gilbert, I'm telling you, I'm not even exaggerating, bro. Gilbert is looking the best I've seen him look since I've gotten here. Even the coaches, everybody in the room, like, damn, Gilbert's looking good. Like, just yesterday, Tuesday, we had spar, and, I was just watching him just tear it up in the room. You know what I mean? He's looking real good, just focused. He's looking good. I'm very confident that he's gonna go out there and get this win.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those dudes that if he takes you down, chances are the fight could be over very quick.
Exactly. And you know what I mean, that's the thing with him. He's so good on the ground. It's crazy, it's scary, but his stand up is actually developing so much. It's like, you know, kind of wherever he takes it, you know, he's gonna have the advantage. But like you said, if he gets you on the ground, a blink of an eye, he could, you know, put you in a submission, boom, just like that. So it's gonna be a very interesting fight, you know, and he's been looking really hungry, real focused lately. So I'm excited to see how he does.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people might criticize his stand-up, but I'll tell you what, the dude is so tough. I mean, he comes to fight every single time.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. And you know, honestly, the people that criticize his stand up, I don't even know what to say about them. Like, everybody always has something to say, but like it's different when you're out there and you're getting punches thrown at you. Nothing is ever gonna look pretty, you know what I mean? So, but he, like you said, he gets it done. He gets in there. He's not scared to you know, throw and bang, and you know, much respect to anybody like that.
No, absolutely. Did you see that fight between Danny Hot Chocolate and Dominic Steele like a month or two ago?
Yeah, man. You know, Danny, me and him actually lived together when he was here. You know, they got dorms up here for us. And before I moved my family up here, me and him were staying together. And so me and him are real close, real good friends. So yeah, I watched that fight. I was so happy for him, bro. I was so happy for him.
Yeah,
he really deserved that. Like, and you know, he just worked so hard for that fight, and man, I was on the edge of my freaking chair the whole fight, just screaming at my TV. Like, I was happy for him. I was really happy.
Yeah, dude, it was an absolutely incredible fight, man. Well, I'm glad to hear that everything's going good for you and the team, man. And you got a prediction for your fight at Titan FC 40?
Yeah, man, it's no prediction. It's a guarantee. I'm going to get a finish. I wasn't happy I didn't get the finish the last fight. I'm definitely going to get a finish this time around. Even just the way I think stylistically I match up with this guy better. I think it's going to be a better matchup for me than the previous fight with Desmond. And, you know, I definitely feel like I'm going to be able to get a finish. I won't be put it like this. I won't be satisfied with the decision win.
There you go, man. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me right here, right now on Half the Battle. Let the audience know where to follow you, man.
No problem. So listen, I'm real active on all the social medias, Instagram and Twitter. My name is the same. It's Predator Toon, Predator, Toon, Toon. And then on Facebook, you can follow my fan page, Desmond the Predator Green. And also my personal page is Toon Winning, Toon. Winning spelled without the G, so just WINNIN. You know, go ahead, follow me up, hit me up, send me messages. I'm real active on there.
Awesome. Desmond, thanks again for the time, and best of luck in your fight, bro.
I appreciate it, man. You have a good one.
You too, buddy. See ya. Welcome back to Half the Battle. I'm your host, as always, Daniel Levi, and joining me on this very special edition of Half the Battle is Damien Brown. Damien, welcome to Half the Battle, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. So, dude, you're fighting Cesar Arzumindia in Atlanta, Georgia at Phillips Arena for UFC 201. How pumped are you for this fight, man?
Very pumped, man. Pumped that I get a full camp. Pumped that I got what I consider a decent opponent, and you know, I'm just pumped to put on a fight for the fans. Really, that's why I fight. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, the last time you fought, dude, correct me if I'm mistaken, but you took the fight on 4 days, short notice. And it's not like you fought some slouch either. You went in there against Alan Patrick, and you gave him a serious fight, man.
Yeah, man, it was 7 days notice. You know, I cut 29 pounds for that fight. And one of my biggest assets is being able to create a scramble. And, unfortunately, I'd never cut that amount of weight, and I didn't know what it was going to do to me. So I didn't really have the scramble going on as much as I'd like, but, you know, man, I'm an Aussie, man. I come to fight. I'll throw down wherever. I've got ground skills. I've got enough to defend. I've got enough to attack. And, man, if you're going to stand and trade with me, the fans are going to get their money's worth. So, you know, I did what I could in that fight. I even dropped my hands in the last round and said, let's do it, but he didn't want to, he didn't want to take part. He was there for a paycheck. So, you know, it was good to get it out of the way, but now I want to put a finish away and, give the UFC and the fans what they expect from me.
Oh yeah, Alan Patrick is definitely a guy that likes to play it safe, but you know, in the UFC, you will find guys like that. So you gotta be ready for the guys that just want to lay on you.
Oh man, I was ready for it. Like we knew that was going to happen, you know. But you get your timing during fight camp. You know, I find during your fight camp when you know who your opponent is, that's when you you don't get any better, so to speak, because you're already training, but, you game plan, and then, through game planning and strategizing and whatnot, you work on your range and you work on your reaction times, and, that's how you counter stuff like that. So I didn't have that opportunity. 7 days notice, you don't get much time to work on your sprawl. You just, I knew I could fight, so I took the fight. I can fight. That's what we do. So, I went in there and threw caution to the wind, and he did what he had to do to win. But, 9 times out of 10, if he gets me on a full fight camp, I'll put him away in the first. But, that's in the past, and I'm ready to move on to the future and start doing that. So.
Yeah, and speaking of the future, like we said, you're taking on Cesar Arzumindia, and I mean, Cesar's last fight, I think he's going to come out very hungry to prove a point because, his last fight didn't go his way, as you probably know. So he's probably going to come out here and try to bang, man.
Fine with that, man. If he's happy to stand and trade, let's do it. I don't think his ground game is as good as what Alan's is. So, I think he'd be silly to take me to ground. But, I think he's silly to stay on the feet as well. So, I think I'll win this fight wherever it is. You know what I mean? I've been working a lot on everything, and it's my first time in 7 years of fighting professionally that I've had a full fight camp without having to work. I'm a full-time employee. I work, shift work. My work's giving me complete 8 weeks off. So, I started getting ready for it 12 weeks out. Took time off work from 8 weeks out. So I've been in full fight camp now. Like, most guys are doing that anyway, but not in Australia, man. We got to work. We got to pay the bills in between. So this is definitely the best shape I've been in, man. I'm pretty close to weight. Everything's sort of working out for me right now. So I'm definitely looking forward to being the best me in that.
So you mentioned that you got to take some time off work. Now, word on the street is that you're a prison guard?
Yeah, that's correct, man. I work in the prison system. I got to pay the bills, so it's all right. I work with good people. They make my life easy. They when I can't get time off, some of them will work some shifts for me and whatnot. And I don't run around gloating about it inside the jail. It's just a job, man. They're normal people. Done things wrong in their life. Someone's got to manage them. So I'm just there to be their connection to the outside world, I guess, and do that job and pay the bills and make sure that I can get to training every night. That's what I do. So, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm sure you've spoken about it many times in Australia, but here in the States, for a lot of the fans, it might be their first time hearing your story. So, you got any good stories of you breaking up some fights down there?
Man, I don't really talk about what happens at work. What happens at work stays at work. But it's jail, man. It's jail. That's what happens in jail, and yeah, still there, man.
Yeah, I'm still here, brother. Hey, fair enough. That's a fair response. I respect that, man.
Yeah, it's a fun job, man. Like I enjoy it. Some people don't enjoy it. They just do it to pay the bills. I enjoy it. I think the work environment sucks. Sure, I got to work in the jail. Everyone knows what it is. You watch the movies. It's not as bad as some of the movies, but it's a shitty place. But like I said, it's a government job out here in Australia, and it pays the bills, and I go there and I do my job, and I enjoy it because I have to do it. So why not enjoy it? And I got good, like I said, I got great colleagues, man. They're amazing people, plenty of laughs, and they all support my dream of fighting in the UFC and being successful and hopefully fighting full time. So yeah, man, we'll see what comes of this one, and maybe I'll be back at work, maybe I won't.
So is fighting a good way for you to balance it out? When did this become your dream?
Man, I'm also ex-military, I'm an Army veteran, served in Afghanistan, so, I came back from Afghan, I had a couple operations when I got back on my feet, and, I just started fighting again just to keep myself, not necessarily physically healthy, because the military does that for you, but keep myself mentally healthy, like martial arts for me is about being mentally healthy, and I believe that if you can get away from your day-to-day life, even if it's for half an hour a day, that's half an hour to an hour a day where you're free from the stresses of life. And I think martial arts does that for people, and definitely for me, that's what it does, and it keeps me healthy, keeps me healthy, keeps me happy, keeps me on track. So I think, it helped me post-army, and more importantly, it still helps me in my job today because, getting there and getting away from the stresses of life and the stresses of work and all that sort of stuff is, it allows you to just, be free for a while. So, yeah, martial arts is it's a big thing. It's been a big thing in my life, so.
Well, first of all, Damien, thank you very much for your service, man. That's definitely appreciated. And, dude, I got to ask you because, a lot of dudes don't have that much experience when they finally make their UFC debut. But you've had plenty of experience. You know what it's like to overcome adversity. You know what it's like to face defeat and come back and go on a win streak. Now you're in the UFC. How invaluable was that experience for you before making your debut in the big show?
Oh, it's massive, man. I see these guys that are 6-0, 7-0. You know what? I was 6-0 once. I lost a few fights in a row, and I had to find a way back. And then I won a few fights, So I've had, losing streaks, winning streaks. I've been there. I've done that. These guys haven't experienced it yet. That's what I'm there for, man. I'm there to help them experience that. So, it definitely is. The experience is invaluable, man. When I had 6 fights, I was always looking for the fight against the guy that had 4 or 5 fights more than me because, fighting those guys with that experience also gives you the experience to fight people like that. So, not only have I got the experience of lots of fights, but I've fought people with lots of fights. You know what I mean? I've fought experienced guys. So, I think it definitely helps. It's invaluable, really.
Yeah, for sure, man. And obviously, we already mentioned you're fighting in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's a serious flight. That jet lag is no joke. How far out in advance are you coming here?
I'm coming out 10 days.
Awesome.
10 days in advance. Yeah, so I've been to the States before. I've never fought over there, but I come over for a month in 2013. I trained in Colorado. And, I know the first 4 or 5 days was a little rough. I think Colorado was a little rough, man. The air out there is nice and thin, hey? But, yeah, it's I think 3 or 4 days, but, I think I can work around it. And by the time we get into the guts of fight week, I should be pretty balanced and pretty good to go.
Yeah, and you got a bunch of Aussies repping your country very, very well. You got Jake Matthews. He's fighting next week against Kevin Lee. How do you see that one going down?
Yeah, man, Jake Matthews is a talented kid. I think anyone will tell you the older you get, the more you got to work on your cardio and your conditioning and stuff as well because, when you're his age, man, you just got it. I remember when I was 22, 23 years old, I could go 10 5-minute rounds and never get tired. I could lift weights, train, do cardio and hill sprints all day and then go and spar at night. I think, I think he's a talented kid. He's 4-1 in the UFC, I think. And, he's definitely making his mark on the division. He's repping Australia well. And I think he'll put Kevin Lee away in maybe late in the second round, maybe the third round. I don't think it goes to a decision.
And you got Mark Hunt fighting Brock Lesnar. And, man, just for me as a fan of this sport, I'm like, Mark, please put this guy away. This guy, Brock, he leaves the sport for 5 years, goes and does the fake wrestling, and if he comes back and he beats Mark Hunt, it's just not a good look. I need Mark Hunt to go out there and knock him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look, I think it's not a good look, man, but at the same time, people forget, wasn't he an NCAA wrestler?
Oh, yeah, and he's a great competitor, no doubt about it. The point I'm trying to make here is you can't just take 5 years off, go out, go do your thing, and then come back to a sport like this.
Oh, no, I agree, I want Mark Hunt to win, man. I think Mark Hunt will win. I think that fight is... has there ever been a fight that's more, either one, it's going to go one way or the other? Has there ever been a fight that's been so evident that it's not going to be fought somewhere in the center? You know what I mean? It's going to either be Mark Hunt's going to knock him out or Brock Lesnar's going to take him down. You know what I mean? I don't think there's been a fight that's been so far either way before. So, in my opinion anyway. So I think, I don't think Brock Lesnar will get Mark Hunt down. You know, he's short. He's got those powerful hips, man. You know, some of these guys that Lesnar takes down, they're kind of a little taller. But Mark Hunt, he's grounded, man. You know, he's good at keeping his feet planted, and you know, he's good at defending that takedown. And more importantly, you know, we've seen of late, like the last couple of years, he can get off the ground, man. You know, guys do get him down, but he can get back up. So I think Lesnar's going to have a hard time keeping him down if he gets him down. And if he doesn't do either, he's going to have a hard time that night, because I think Mark Hunt's going to just, you know, he's got that accuracy, man. You know, he won't throw volumes, but when he throws them and he hits Lesnar, I think Lesnar's going to have a really, really bad night.
Yeah, and in the 5 years that Brock Lesnar's been gone, Mark Hunt's been putting in work. He's been in there with the champion, with the former champion. I mean, he's been in there with everyone.
Yeah, no doubt, man. He's fought the who's who, man. He fought the who's who before he got to the UFC, right? You know, he fought Alistair Overeem. He fought heaps of people back in the day. So, yeah, Mark Hunt. Yeah, he's definitely, man. It would suit him real nice for that strap around his waist, you know what I mean? Like, he's been there, he's done it, he's a veteran, you know, he deserves a title shot. And I think if he puts Lesnar away, man, he might get that. So, yeah, it'd be nice to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. And how about this kid, Robert Whittaker? Man, he's something special, huh?
Yeah, man. You know, I don't know Rob real well. You know, he's in Sydney, which is a fair way away from Brisbane, but he's talented, man. You know, I watched him fight for ages now. You know, back when he was like, I think he was like 9-0 or 9-1 or something like that. You know, I've watched him for years now, and he's just got that style, and he's, you know, he's got age on his side. I don't even know how old he is, but he's like 25 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
24 or something. You know, it's like watching Rory McDonald all over again. You know what I mean? He was young. He developed in the UFC, and he got better, and eventually got a title shot. And I think, and from my opinion, like that's exactly where Whittaker is at the moment, man. He's so good, but he's got so far to go. Like his potential to be better is amazing. And I think, you know, he's going to be there for the long haul. I don't think Whittaker's going anywhere. You know, he's explosive too, man. So being so explosive, you know, he's got that. He can cover that distance quick, and his striking's good. It'd be nice to see him fight someone like, you know, Romero or someone like that who's got that wrestling ability, you know, that Olympic wrestling caliber. Just as a test, but you know, he obviously hits hard, man. You know, if he hits you, you're going down. So
yeah.
Seeing what he did to Tavares, you know what I mean? So if his timing's on and he closes that distance and you don't see it coming, you're not going to see it coming. So, man, I definitely wouldn't be disappointed to see him get a title shot. You know, he deserves that shot against Bisping. Bisping had that, he was meant to fight him and he pulled out. And, you know, there was the guys in that top five. Some are injured, you know, some are coming off losses. You know, it'd be quite fitting to see him get that shot. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Rob might be the first guy to bring back gold to Australia. That'd be amazing to see, man. Well, Damien, before we get out of here, man, I need a fight prediction. How's your fight with Cesar Arzamendia going to go down at UFC 201 in ATL?
Man, it'll go down however I want it to, but I think definitely won't be a decision, that's for sure. You know, I think it'll depend on him. If he wants to take it to the ground, I finish by sub. If he wants to stand up, I'll knock him out. I don't care. So I think the fight will finish somewhere in the first or second round. We'll see what happens.
Well, the fans are going to be really happy to hear that. And, Damien, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me right here, right now on Half the Battle. Let the audience know where to follow you on social media and anything else you want to plug now. Now's the time, man. Yeah, man. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. That's all I got. But follow me at Beatdown155. Check out my stuff. Like it. Share it. Get me out there, man. Let people know who I am, because I come to fight and I fight for the fans. Well, that's why you're on Half the Battle right now, because I only talk to guys that come to fight. So thanks again, Damien, and I hope you have a great day, man. Cheers, man. See you guys. See you, man. Welcome back to Half the Battle. I'm your host, as always, Daniel Levi, and joining me on this very special edition of Half the Battle is Tony Martin. Tony, welcome to Half the Battle, man.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. It's my pleasure. So, dude, let's get right down to it. You're taking on Michelle Prazeres, July 23rd, UFC on Fox 20. You stoked?
Yeah, I'm really excited, man. I think it's a great matchup for me, a great fight, and I feel great.
Dude, it's an absolutely great matchup for you. First of all, did you watch Prazeres versus Valmir Lazaro by chance?
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, I mean, was that not one of the worst decisions you've ever seen?
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I mean, mostly because they're both Brazilians, so I mean, you expected to have a legit judging going on, but yeah, I thought, he lost those last 2 rounds easily, handedly. So I don't know what happened, but that's, I guess, good for me. You know, Lazaro, he's a 6-foot striker, so it was kind of a great look for me leading into the fight, too.
Dude, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And like, this is a similar matchup as that one. And, Valmir Lazaro was the underdog, so I'm still bitter about that because, I bet on him and he clearly won. And I think you're going to be the underdog here, going to be betting on you, of course. And, I mean, look, the thing with Michelle Prazeres, so we all know the deal. 5'6", stocky, throws big bombs, and he's pretty heavy on top.
Yeah, I mean, his game is very simple, and he's obviously really good at it, but I watch him, and nothing impresses me. Nothing he does makes me be like, I got to watch out for this. I think it's just one of those fights that I just got to be ready to go. If he somehow lands a takedown, I just got to get back up right away. And then, and also I think, the difference between me and Lazaro is going to be the big differences in the grappling department. I think that my offensive grappling could come into a big play too, mostly when Prazeres gets tired a lot. He gets really tired. He starts to fade, and I think he makes a lot of bad decisions. And I think those are spots that Lazaro didn't capitalize on, and I think these are things that I'll take advantage of and finish the fight.
Definitely. Now, man, in your last fight, I mean, not only did you get the victory, but you made such big improvements. Everyone always criticized you for, you look like a world champion in round 1, and then round 2, you might be a little gassed. But I'll tell you what, against Felipe Oliveira, you actually started off a little bit slow, and then in round 3, you finished him. So you corrected your mistakes, man.
Yeah, no, that's been a thing. Well, I think it was all more just getting comfortable. I think that instead of just having to force everything, and then finally, the second round is when I feel like something just clicked, and I just resorted to all my training and kind of just let my training take over for I think the first time instead of trying to think about what I'm going to do, and that way I just reacted, and there was definitely a great feeling, like you said, is to come out in the second round and win the second round, then come out in the third round and finish them in the third. So I was definitely a lot of improvements, and the same thing, every camp I'm trying to get better, and I do look at my weaknesses, and that's what I try to strengthen all the time.
Another interesting thing that was quite an opposite from some of your setbacks, against Rashid, Benny, and Leo, like I said, you looked amazing in that first round. Against Felipe, you actually lost the first round. Is that a first for you?
Yeah, I think that is a first. Definitely first in the UFC. I'm not. I don't think I ever lost the first round before, so it was different. I definitely knew he was landing the better strikes in the first, and I was wasting same thing. I was kind of just wasting a lot of energy on trying to take him down and trying to force it a little bit, and then for some reason the second round I was just in the corner, and I'm like, I'm just gonna come out and we're gonna fight. And no, it was definitely a huge different feeling. Lose the first round and then start taking over from there.
So, I mean, what do you think it is that makes it so that now you do have the gas to go the full 3-round distance? Is it just the experience like you mentioned, or is it something you changed in your training?
No, I think it's definitely a little bit of both. I think, I'm trying to train, a lot more at my fight pace. And it's also a lot of exerting certain energy at the right times instead of the wrong times, and that comes with having the experience when you're in there. And you're not, I think a big spot where I waste a lot of my energy is just on the cage when I'll shoot in, I'll get down on somebody, and then instead of sometimes just backing out, I keep on that grind, and that's where a lot of guys, that's where you're going to waste a lot of your energy. So kind of one of those things that I've been just trying to figure out when to step on the gas and when to pull off a little bit. But and I think this is one of the perfect fights to put everything together. Like I said, Prezura's, he's obviously good. He's won 3 UFC fights, but I don't think there's anywhere out there that he's better than me. And I think he's going to be in a world of shock once he actually once we touch each other. I think he's going to be shocked how physically strong I am too for being a 6 foot lanky guy.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like now you're poised to go on a run because, you had the setbacks, you overcame adversity, and it's not like the guys you lost to are slouches either. They're all top 15 guys. I mean, you almost broke Rashid Magomedov's arm, and, he happened to survive. You whooped Benny in the first round. You whooped Leo in the first round. They were good experiences for you. But now you get Michel Prazeres, and you're going to finally go on your first UFC win streak.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm super excited. I think it is a great time for me, great matchup. And like you said, those 3 guys, I truly think that if I fought them now, I come out victorious. I think it's more of my mental stage right now. I think I've matured a lot in the fight game and in the training room. And I think that I have the right training around me, the right guys around me. And I think it's definitely time for me to keep putting my stamp in the sport and keep my name out there and keep getting on this win streak and then prove that, those fights only made me better. And someday I definitely plan on them always being shocked that this guy that they beat has surpassed them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And, the only reason I would bring up your past setbacks, obviously I feel like fighters learn a lot from them, but I mean, when you almost break a guy like Rashid Magomedov's arm and then he gets back up, I mean, is that discouraging or did you just let out too much energy trying to break his arm?
No, that fight I actually ended up, I tore my LCL and my hamstring a little bit. And so I was like 2 minutes into the fight and, I was young. I was 3 years training. I started training when I was 21. I was literally almost to the date that 3 years of training. So I didn't have a big background. I wasn't, obviously I went in the fight thinking I got to live or die by the takedown, and that's what cost me the fight. It wasn't, obviously, Rashid's very good striker, very good takedown defense. And, just, taking him down and then kept shooting in, and not trusting my striking at all is what really lost me the fight more than anything.
Now, I got to ask you this. What's scarier, Rashid striking or Benny's left kick?
Oh, I mean, I would definitely say I'd be a lot more. I feel a lot more comfortable going in with Benil than Rashid striking. Because Rashid is very versatile, and he's small, but he's versatile. He's been doing that his whole life. Benil, I think, came from a grappling background, and if you guys just get ready for one strike, I'd rather prepare for one strike than 100. So, but they're both very good fighters, and obviously they've earned where they're at. But I definitely plan on surpassing them.
Definitely, and then you take on Fabricio Camoes in Brazil. I mean, one doesn't simply take on a Brazilian in Brazil. And not only did you beat him, you finished him in the first round with a Kimura. And this is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. This is a guy that went 25 minutes in a bare-knuckle brawl with Anderson Silva. So, I mean, how good did it feel to get your first UFC victory in Brazil?
It felt great. It was still one of those things. I took the fight on 3 weeks' notice. And it was kind of, I was coming off the 2 losses. I had no choice. I had to jump in there. It was kind of one of those, you have UFC's calling you. You're 0-2. You had no choice. And I always like, fighting grapplers. It's definitely should be a decent matchup for me where I feel like I should be able to get the better of the striking and hold my own with the grappling. But, yeah, I just kind of went with the flow in that fight because it was 3 weeks. There was no game plan. I didn't watch really any film on him because all I was concentrating on the whole time was losing weight. So I was just went into the fight, and I just said, I'm just going to go with the flow. And then, the takedown came, and, yeah, I got the Kimura, and that was huge. It felt great, just to get try to get the mindset back and then keep moving forward. I was still very disappointed from my previous 2 fights, so it just felt good to get those behind me.
Now, you've actually won 8 of your 10 victories via submission, but you're a very tall guy. You use your range really well. Are we expecting any knockouts in the future?
Oh, man, I don't know. I thought last fight, that second round, I heard him, and I thought for sure that it was coming. But, no, there's going to be a lot of knockouts. I think in the next couple of years here that I'll probably be I'm fully expecting to be more known as a striker than a grappler, but I'm never going to get away from my grappling because I know what got me here and what I do well, but I think I do think my body's better fitted to be a really good striker, so that's kind of been a huge focus of mine. Last camp, my last opponent, he was known as to be a really good striker, so it's kind of a thing that it was nice to get in there, second round, start feeling comfortable and start out striking this guy. And, no, I definitely plan on, I plan on knocking Preserves out. I plan on putting him away. And I think that if he's gonna be willing to stand and trade at all, I think that I'm gonna have a huge, significant advantage. And I'm not gonna be, I'm gonna be in his face. I'm gonna be coming after him. So I hope he doesn't just keep diving in on the leg so I can try to get that knockout.
I expect him to try to throw a couple bombs, and then he's going to be diving on your legs right away.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of see it in the fights, but I think he's very comfortable moving forward. He's stocky, but I think it's gonna be a little odd when I don't plan on moving backwards. I'm either moving to the side or I'm moving forward. I'm not going backwards. So if he wants to, so I'm gonna force him to strike. I'm gonna force him to go where he's not comfortable and where I think that is gonna bring his anxiety levels up, gas him out, and then plan on putting him away.
Yeah, that's a great plan, and I mean, he better go forward because he's 5'6". You're 6 feet tall. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has to close that distance.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm gonna have almost a foot reach on him, and he's gonna be, he comes in with wild hooks, and it is kind of a hard matchup, to really get ready for that kind of style because not a lot of guys, are 155 pounders at that stature and throw that wild, but also can wrestle, and he's really, his main thing is to set up his wrestling. I see a big, strong guy, but I don't see true knockout power with his hands. I don't feel like if he hits me that I'm going to be going to sleep. So I think it's just a big thing. I just go in there comfortable with my striking ability and then just making him fight. It's going to be a big thing. Is I can't let him rest. I can't let him get in any spots where he can start catching his breath a little bit, relax. I want to keep after him. And I'm going to test his cardio. We're going to see if he's coming in shape, because if he's not, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up. Now, even though you proved in your last fight that, your cardio is on point, do you want to make a statement about that in this fight particularly, that, hey, Tony Martin can go the full 3-round distance? I mean, unless you knock him out, of course.
No, I don't want to go 3 rounds. I definitely want to just put him away. Ideally, I really want to get that knockout this fight, but I do know the more you start hunting for stuff, the harder they're to get. So I'm going to kind of just stick to the game plan that me and my coaches have put together for this and kind of stick to that. But I think I truly believe my cardio is great. I think that, I think that I can go 4 or 5 rounds right now next week if I had to, So I think it's I think I feel good. I think that everyone's going to see the second I feel him start to fade, I'm telling you, I'm gonna come harder. So he's gonna fade, and then you're gonna see me come even harder. And usually, both guys start getting tired together, but I think it's gonna be the opposite. He's gonna get tired, and I'm gonna start, and everyone's gonna see. So how much work I put in, not just my cardio, but my striking and my grappling. I'm a true martial artist. I feel like every area is very important, and every area is, if you're not trying to get better in every area, that's how these guys fall behind.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, man. And how's that weight cut? Because, you're a big dude for 55.
Yeah, no, I got a dietitian, I'm with Perfecting Athletes now, and I've been working with them, and we got this fight. The big thing is getting fights with a little bit of a notice. It's tough on my body. My 2 Brazil fights I took on 3-week notice, then 5-week notice. And those are kind of tough fights for me because, outside of the fight, I can get up to 200 pounds easily. But, I was trying to stick around after this last fight. I told myself I'm not going to get over 190. But when I'm in shape, I'm 183 pounds. So that's still, almost 30 pounds. But that's, so I kind of walk around there for most of my camp, and then I start cutting down a little bit lower and lower. But everything's healthy now. I feel great. Last camp I felt phenomenal. Fight week I came in the lowest I've ever come in, and I was eating breakfast day of weigh-ins, which I couldn't believe. So I'm super excited about having Perfecting Athletes with me and weigh-ins.
Yeah, man. And between the Leo fight and the Felipe fight, you actually took close to a year off. Did you just take that time to reassess, grow, and evolve as a fighter? Because, you clearly came back and put on your best UFC performance to date.
Yeah, that was the big thing is, I kind of, after that fight, I was like, I kind of looked at the big picture, and I was just like, I don't think it's definitely not athletic ability difference. I really don't see a big skill difference. It's more, I'm just not as comfortable yet. So I just spent time in the grind. I was training full time still, and a lot of guys were fighting, and I was in there. And somewhere, then I brought a new boxing coach in that one of my teammates was working with him one-on-one all the time, and Eddie Alvarez. So I was working with Eddie diligently for 5-6 months leading up to that fight. So it's kind of just all these little changes I had to make, and I knew the big picture was I had to keep getting better. No matter what I was doing, I just had to keep growing and trying to keep adding these new skills. And so it was kind of one of those things, I just took a step back. I was like, this is where I'm at right now. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. That's not where I expected to be. That's not where I want to be. So what's going to get me there? And that's kind of what the coach, I sat down with my coaches, and I was like, listen, we got to do. We got to take smart fights right now because we don't need to fight 6 times a year. We don't, I'm not fighting to get this paycheck. I'm fighting, to try to get to a world title someday. So we're like, okay, listen, we're not taking short notice fights right now. We want these certain fights at these certain times so we can keep building, and these are the things that were important. So that's why, I'm kind of, even this, between my last fight and this fight, it's been 6 months. It's kind of the same thing where I'm like, I don't want to jump into the fight on a 3-week notice fight because right now that's not a smart decision for my career. I got to take smart fights at the right time, and then let's fight.
I 100% agree with you, man, and I think that Michel Prazeres is a perfect next step for you. And Joe Silva, he obviously sees something in you. That's the reason you're still here. And we all see something in you. You, even in your defeats, you looked incredible early on, but then you fixed whatever it was, and then you went on, you submitted Felipe in the 3rd round, and now you're going to take on Michel, and we're expecting a knockout, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Awesome, buddy. Well, hey, Tony, I really appreciate the time. Thank you so much for speaking with me right here, right now on Half the Battle. Let the audience know where to follow you on social media, and anything else you want to plug, man, now's the time.
Yeah, just follow me at T Martin MMA on my Twitter. And then just mostly I just want to thank all my friends, teammates, coaches, all my my wife, obviously, she's been by my side from the beginning. So, and obviously, thank you guys for having me on the show. I appreciate the time, and I plan on putting on my best performance to date on July 23rd.
I can't wait to see it. And real quick, there's another lightweight matchup on that same card you're fighting on. Edson Barbosa versus Gilbert Melendez. How do you see that one going down?
I think that Edson's going to win. You know, I don't know what's going on with Gilly, but he's kind of looked a little different the last few fights.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so I'm not going to, I don't know for sure, but, a lot of fighters have been looking a little different than they used to look. So I think that Barbosa has actually looked the same. There's nothing's changed in his style of fighting and his athletic ability. So I'm going to give the edge to Barbosa.
And we'll see how your opponent looks on the scale. Hint, hint, wink, wink. All right, buddy. Hey, thanks so much for the time, brother, and you have a great day, okay?
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Take care. There you have it, folks. Half the battle. Thank you so much for listening. And big thanks to Josh Hill, Damien Brown, Desmond Green, and Tony Martin for joining me on this very special edition of Half the Battle. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at BestFightPicks. Go to BestFightPicks.com and subscribe to Half the Battle on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. And until the next time, enjoy the fights. And also, guys, remember, on International Fight Week, we're going to be doing back-to-back-to-back Half the Battles, breaking down each card. I'm talking UFC Vegas, the Tough 23 finale, and of course, UFC 200. I'm going to have Robin Black and Sean Carey breaking down those fights with me. So make sure you tune in and enjoy your weekend, guys.